Warm welcome. This is Markus Termin, Astrologisches Stundenbuch at the 4th of September 2024. The moon will change. It has not yet, but within a few hours, 1:30 Middle European summertime, still summertime, the other time is the normal time, we have a Scorpio moon. Moon will change from the new moon position in Libra, who turned out to be pretty difficult, devastating in some parts of the world. And we're going to have a new moon after new moon in Scorpio. The moon is going into the sign of Scorpio within a few hours, and thus he joins the ensemble of water powers, which is Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde, and Venus and Mars there in the water signs. In fact, Venus and Saturn today are going to have a trine, an exact trine. So this is big water forces running the show in my view, the way I see it. What is that good for? Venus and Mars is always good for, as I pointed out yesterday, for re-establishing good vibes in your own relationship, from women to men and men to women. Using Saturn retrograde in the sign of Pisces, as I pointed out yesterday already, gives us the chance to have an orientation on the spiritual rules of the past, which are way better than those we have in the present, if they are even to be seen at all. Now, this is the daily chart, and Moon in Scorpio with the Sun of Libra is a change of energy, because when Moon is in Scorpio, especially joining Venus, there is another possibility to go deep, to go clear, to go research, emotional research. Actually, Scorpio is the sign of psychic projection. Scorpio wants that things get to be the way that Scorpio imagine things could be, should be. That's the way. It never turns out really the way the scorpions, the dear scorpions, do want their way to go, but at least they try, and Scorpio is one of the most important 12 signs of the zodiac. Now I want to point out my view today on another topic, and this is the idea of prediction. We astrologers, we learn for a lifetime, and we have to learn every day, and we try our systems and try to improve it every day, find new points of orientation. So one point of orientation I found in a very, very old book by Claudius Ptolemaeus, who is somehow one of the founders, the fathers of astrology, of Western astrology, we could call him like that. He lived in the Egyptian city of Alexandria 100 after Christ, and he wrote two books. One is on mathematics and the other one is on astrology. And he said that for the prediction of the following month, we have to use the new moon that appears to come up pre-cardinal changes. That means if we have a cardinal change is when the sun enters Libra, or the sun enters Aries, or the sun enters Capricorn or Cancer. Those are the cardinal points in the chart. And it's not about the sun, it's about the moon. It's about the new moon pre-entering these points. And that means we are in a prediction phase still of the new moon in September, which is this one. So this is the real, in my observation, the real predictive chart for what is coming from this point of time along, actually from the sun entering Libra until the sun will enter Capricorn. We're going to have a new chart, a new predictive chart on the 1st of December with a new moon in Sagittarius, but up to this point of time, and actually later on, because the value starts to work from the cardinal sun entering. This is the predictive chart. And from this chart we can say, yes, we are going to have a change in the government in the United States, because this is kind of a world chart, and still the United States is the main power, the empire, compared to the Roman Empire, it's the world power ruling the world. Why is that? Because Hollywood is everywhere, because McDonald's is everywhere, because this crazy mixed English I'm using myself is everywhere, and also it's the music. It's actually not music, it's noise junk that comes from speakers, but anything that is recorded in my eyes is somehow noise junk, and well, almost anything. There are exceptions. So looking at this chart, why is the prediction for a change in the American governance, whatever change means, because one thing they call us is going to change and the other thing is not going to change, because it's a real, after all, it's serious, they seem to try to kill each other, but then on the other hand, it's a big theater, and this is one of the real solid American skills, to let the world run on their stories. Everyone listens to their stories. It's like you have a place that is really messed up, and somebody jumps on this place and, well, this is that and this is that, and I'm going to tell you the story and it's going to be like this and that. Americans are perfect with this. They keep the emotional grip on the world by telling stories. Hollywood, that's actually it. And the difference in between politics and Hollywood is not that big, and whatever might be behind that, things like that. So looking at this predictive chart, going back to the September new moon, you see there is Uranus at the top of the chart, and Uranus is retrograde. That means there is a liberation because it's Uranus, and it's retrograde gives us a hint towards the old president, the righteous president, as they say. It's YouTube, be careful. He's going to be set back into the office again. Then we have the axis in between having and owning things, which is house 2 and house 8, and house 2, you see there's a new moon. That means we get the chance of re-establishing our the things we own, our regular day life. This is Virgo first, and Virgo means that's what the new moon provides, and Virgo is connected to what we own. So this is the axis of financial shifts that are to be expected. Stock market crashes, pop out every second day. Up to now, it seems to be in India or Bangladesh or somewhere, but this can change very quick. And then the most important thing is, if we look at Mars, Mars is also a ruler of house 10, and Mars is being involved into the perfect square to Neptune. And Neptune, whereas Neptune is here. So we have the Mars-Neptune square, leading the destinations for the next 3 months, looking from the September new moon. It also means that although Mr. Trump, President Trump, is going to win the elections, after the elections, which which are still in the time space of this prediction, we will have the situation of Mars squaring Neptune. So that's not an election. That's not going to be an election of clear outcome. It's going to be chaotic because everybody knows the bailout system is not working, and they didn't try to fix it. And this election won't have a clear outcome. This is going to be one of the main problems. But still, I think Trump is going to be re-establishing his position in the White House, and I can say this from this chart. This is what I think is the fact. Now, let me ask the question, why is it this rising chart? Why is it the rising sign of Leo that I say is a prediction for the world governance? You might have words like Bohemian groove and things like that. Now, getting back to Bohemia, to real Bohemia, there's one magical point which is most important in my view, and this magical point is actually this clock, you know. And why is that? Because this is the oldest machine working. It's the so-called Orloj in Prague, and it's not an astronomical clock as they call it, but it's a purely astrological clock showing 4 times our regular time. Then in the outside circle, in the black circle, it's the Bohemian time or the Italian time, starting at the end of the day, not in the morning. And there's even a Babylonian time with 12 hours a day, which have a variation in length. But the most important thing magically, and the world runs on pure magic, is that this is the oldest machine working. It was first established in 1410, and it's even older than that because this is the bill of the clockmaker already. Of course, it changed over the times, but for magical issues, this is very important. So not only this clock runs around time, but this is the magical center point of the technical world. Now, what is astrology? Astrology and technique is not far away from each other, because astrology is one of the basic technologies actually. And how shall I put this? Astrology is the karma of science, you know. Astrology and science have been one body of knowledge for a very, very long time, though Ptolemaios writes that there's a struggle in between mathematicians and astrologer at the beginning of our time counting already. So this is going through times. It's not a new thing that occurs in our dates. But coming back to magic, this is why we can take the predictive chart with a Leo rising from the magical technical center of the world, which is the city of Prague in Bohemia. And this is why we have a prediction chart, Leo rising. Hope what I said is understandable. Maybe I will have to repeat it another time. Going back to the chart for today, just remember, for the private use, we are in the big water trine. Get to your loved ones, as I said yesterday, because the the spin and hype, you know, of what is going on around is trying to grab into our soul. You know, they want us on the run. They want us to have fear. They want us to be insecure in our will and in our projection of what is freedom and what is right and what is wrong. You know, I think those people who are in my age, we never faced a time in our lifetime that is in this way, cooking up to a point of I'm missing word, and look over what happens on the hurricane front. You know, I mean, this is unbelievable what they are doing. You know, and it's out of the news. It's not even in the news. You know, thousands of people dying, and it's not in the news. I speak from Germany. We don't have it in the news. It's not in there. They're not telling anybody. Okay, so you know that people are in need over there, and as I found out on, well, be careful about words. This is YouTube, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So this is Markus Termin, Astrologisches Stundenbuch. Welcome to the Scorpio moon. Go deep, go close to your loved ones, and keep the rose tight. You know, we got to push through this time. I did a mistake yesterday about Pluto returning to Aquarius. You know, Pluto returning to Aquarius will be in November already, at the 19th of November. I said something about December. That wasn't correct. It's the 19th of November, Pluto returning in Aquarius. And what does that mean? That means until this time, the old system tries to push on through whatever is possible. Okay, having said that, I hope you're not more confused than at the beginning. If you want to have a personal reading on your chart, just send me a mail on this address. Mind the DE at the end, because this is the Genius German Astrologer. And you know, it's not my native language, though. Down here at my blog site, you'll find a whole lot of philosophy and thoughts about astrology. It's in German language, but with artificial intelligence. We have translators everywhere, so don't worry about that. And you can go deep into that too. It has no search facility, but this is another point of magic too. Thank you for listening. Markus Termin, Astrologisches Stundenbuch, at the 4th of October 2024.